Good evening, folks, and welcome back to another episode of South of Cheddar Curtain. As always, it's your boy, Devin Hine, sitting across the Skype screen from the man, the myth, the legend. Folks, want to say hi to Mr. Lucas Mueller?
Hello, folks.
Guys. It is Christmas in April. It is time for everybody's favorite episode. Welcome to Draftapalooza 4.0.
4.0, baby. Let's go. This is probably the most fun we have doing the show every year, outside of the post-draft one's pretty good. But yeah, it's a whole new world, right? Anything is possible right now. Anything is possible.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. We got all these presents under the tree, right? And we're gonna unwrap some potential ones tonight for sure.
Exactly. And I'm pretty excited. To hear what you did with your draft because I'm pretty excited about mine.
Yes, sir. Before I get started, just throwing it out there, when Luke and I do this, it's a combination of a few things. It's a combination of, a little bit of guys that we like, guys we think the Packers will take. But the big importance of this and the takeaway you guys should have is where we think the Packers are going to attack early, what we think the big needs are, the holes that we're going to attack in this draft. And I think historically we've been pretty accurate with that, right, Luke?
Yeah, I think especially the highlight for us is probably the tight end double up that we pretty much nailed a couple years ago with Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft. I thought Sam Laporta was going to be there in the third instead of Tucker Kraft, so I was off a little bit on that. But yeah, we have a pretty good track record of, if not the exact people, at least the positions and the placement of them frequently.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, let's see if that streak continues.
Let's do it.
The first round at pick 23, because I always go first.
Woo. I'm excited.
He probably ain't going to be there still.
Yeah.
But if he is, we've already seen him dominate in green and yellow in college.
Oh.
Bring home the big boy, Derek Harmon, defensive tackle out of Oregon.
Oh.
Let me tell you about him. First, why we go on D tackle? Because TJ Slayton's gone. Because we need another big boy up front. And plus, we're talking about pass rush, right? Can defensive tackles affect the pass rush? Yeah, they can. Look at the Eagles, especially his best comp, as per an NFL exec. He plays like a Raven and a Steeler. And specifically, he reminds him of a bigger Cam Hayward. Yeah, I would take that in the green and yellow, for sure. He's only 21, originally from Detroit. He was second team All-American. I also saw a Daquan Jones comp, which isn't like the sexiest name, but Daquan Jones
good player.
Is a very solid starting defensive tackle in the league. And I would say he's better than TJ Slayton. I would take that easily. He's tough. He's able to collapse the pocket. Very versatile up front. You can put him a nose tackle. You can kind of slide him out to end if you need to. You can move him all around. The one negative I saw on him is he doesn't always finish the play. So he does got a little bit of TJ Slayton in him, early penetration in the backfield and rushes the passer, but doesn't always get to him. He did finish last year with 5 sacks and 2 forced fumbles, one of them being on Junkins for Ohio State. So that is a NFL high round pick you're stripping the ball from.
No.
That says something. Come on home.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good pick, and that's one that I've taken in a lot of my mock drafts if he falls to us. Because look, I'm going to be honest, I've done hundreds of mock drafts, and then just finally this morning was like, Luke, you just do one.
And can I pause? Because I was
Absolutely.
the exact opposite. Last year, I think I did 6 or 7, and I was at work one night in between patients, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And then when I got Harmon and my second guy, I was like, I'm done. This is the one.
This is the one. And I think Derek Harmon, really interesting because the defensive lineman at the top of this draft, well, A, it's a really deep defensive lineman draft. But B, very interesting people at the top. So Derek Harmon, another comp I saw was actually Kenny Clark, similar size. Ooh. And their blend of pass rush and run stuffing ability. Obviously, good Kenny. Kenny runs kind of hot and cold depending on the year, but good Kenny, right? Where he's a similar size, can give you a little bit of both, right? There's a couple other ones that are up top, and they're kind of like the sliding scale of defensive linemen. You have Walter Nolan out of Ole Miss, which is like a 3 technique, so he would be like Devontae Wyatt, kind of like a supercharged Devontae Wyatt. Great pass rusher, not as good in the run game, right? And then you have Derek Harmon, who's in the middle, and then you have the big boys, Kenneth Grant and Tyleek Williams from Ohio State, that are on the other side. They're just big old run stuffer nose tackles, defensive tackles, right? So really interesting at the top who goes where and who takes who, because they have a nice little something for everybody up there. And you kind of pick the one straight in the middle, which, hey, he can play some nose tackle for TJ Slaton. If we had another big body, he could bump out a little bit. I mean, we have options with him. We have options, and very well-rounded player. Nicely done, sir. Great way to start the draft.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely. So speaking of people that aren't going to make it there, because I have a couple, like the first couple rounds for my draft were a little like, this is a little too good to be true. So I'm going to give some alternative ones that may be a little bit more realistic. But my first one, it's Goody we're talking about, right? What does Goody take on defense in the first round? Georgia Bulldogs. So in my mock draft, Mykel Williams fell to 23.
Oh, baby.
Which would be ideal, right? Physical freak, 6'5", 260, super long arms, super strong, coming off a not phenomenal last year, junior year for him. He was a lot better the year before, which is something that Goody will frequently look for, it seems like, with Dontavian Wicks and a bunch of other guys, right? We are no stranger to that, of the junior season or sophomore season being better than the final season in college. But absolute freak, athlete, and a little bit more polished than like the Lucas Van Nesses we've taken recently, right? Rashawn Gary. He's got a little bit more polish to him. Super strong. Needs to fill out his frame a little bit, but that's why potentially he's not going to be a top 5-10 pick, but there's a chance. Explosive athlete, exceptional length to keep tackles and tight ends at the end of his punch. He has really nice punch, one-arm punch. Occasionally he can play a little too tall, which happens with some of the little bit lankier guys, but all the tools in the toolbox to be a phenomenal NFL player. And his comp, at least the one place I saw, is Gregory Rousseau, which I would take, right? We need someone that's actually going to get sacks. We have a bunch of really good athletes that play edge. We need someone that's actually going to get home once in a while.
Yeah, man, that would be huge. I mean, he's automatically, easily edge rusher too, and I could see him pushing Gary in terms of production, because Gary's also a little hot and cold.
Absolutely.
You were mentioning how he needs to fill out that frame a little bit. Well, my boy, you come to Green Bay, we got these thing called cheese curds. Cheese curds. We'll fill you up, no problem. Get that punch even stronger, and that is an excellent first choice.
That would be phenomenal.
Kind of thought you were going there, and I'm really happy that you did.
I don't necessarily think he's going to be there, but one of my other picks, if he's not, would be Derek Harmon. I think he'd be a very good choice. And also, as much as we would all hate it, don't be too shocked at Josh Simmons, offensive tackle. I wouldn't be too surprised. Not that that's what I want, because who wants an offensive tackle after we just took one last year? But look, Sean Ryan's contract's up after the end of this year. We're going to need a guard. We're probably not going to bring back, I can't think of his name. Oh, my God.
Rasheed Walker.
Thank you, Rasheed Walker. I could see us taking Josh Simmons to plug and play at left tackle, leave Morgan at right guard for next year. I could see it. I don't want it. I want one of our guys, honestly. Those are like my top two, I think, for where we're picking, if they're there. So here's hoping.
I would be straight up pissed if we take that offensive tackle. I've seen the mock too, and I'm like, this has to be a mockery, not a mock. Unless we do some other like crazy, future draft pick trade where the holes that we have are fixed in other ways. Like if we just use our first round pick on another person who is not going to play this season, like we'll see how Jordan Morgan works out. Am I blinded by hindsight of Jordan Morgan and then, of course, Cooper DeJean and several other players that I mentioned on the season wrap-up show? Of course. I'm a victim to that right now. I can say it. I can be honest here. But we better not take that offensive tackle. No, thank you.
Now, to be fair to him, without injury, he's probably the best offensive lineman in the draft. So if he comes back, I'm sure the talent is incredible.
I hear you. If a really talented quarterback falls to us too, like Jalen Milroe, if he's there, I don't want him either. We're good on offensive line for now. We have holes to fill. We have snaps that need to be replaced. We have snaps that need to be upgraded.
Mm-hmm.
This is the year. This is the year, Lucas. Some feels different, buddy. I'm telling you, I called it way back in the day in high school, and I was like, Luke, this year Jarrett Bush is going to get an interception for us in the Super Bowl. And you're like, Devin, you're full of it. We'll see. We'll see if I'm a prophet. Let's go to the second round. Another guy who probably won't be there, but, he could be. He could be in the second round. We have to trade up and get him. I don't have to say much about him because if you're here and you're listening, you are loyal to the soil, and we appreciate it. It hurts me to say it. It's like sleeping with the enemy. Sometimes you got to do it. Bring in the Cyclone. Bring in Jaden Higgins, wide receiver at Iowa State, 6'4", 216. He is a big, bad mother effer. You already know. You already know.
This is Devin's boy right here. I mean, yeah, if you listen to our last episode about wide receivers, you'd hear Devin wax poetically about Jaden Higgins. I'm a little bit lower on him, I think, but could be a very useful player and the kind of player we don't necessarily have in the room at the moment. I think his good possession receiver, I think his RAS score, which was 9 point something, 9.6, something like that, and his 40 time were probably a little deceptive. I don't necessarily know if he played that fast, but very good receiver, tough, kind of like we talked about, a little bit more supercharged down Lazard, which is a very good thing to get in the second round. I'm here for it. All right. Are you ready?
I'm waiting.
Talking about people that aren't going to be there. This guy definitely ain't going to be there. Big boy, right? So first we got the edge. We got the edge in Mike Hill. Now we're going to get a big boy in the middle. TJ Slaton.
Here we go.
TJ
Here
Slaton.
we go.
We're replacing TJ with KG. Kenneth Grant.
General Grant. You're bringing him back home to save the
Absolutely.
Union?
Defensive tackle out of Michigan. 6'4", 331. Big boy. Nose tackle. Defensive tackle. Big dude in the middle that you ain't going to run on. Surprising athleticism for his size. I mean, we're not in like the Eagles, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis realm, but very good athlete, which leads to a little bit more pass rush upside than I think some of the other big defensive tackles in this draft, where down the line he can do a little something, bring you a little juice from the middle besides just being a very large human. I'd be shocked if he's here. People have us taking him in the first round in some mocks, but if he's here, maybe we got to trade up, whatever it takes. I think that'd be a phenomenal pick for us. Immediately fill TJ Slaton's role, who actually is the comp that NFL.com has, weirdly enough, but he's got way more juice than TJ Slaton ever had as far as pass rush potential. But General Grant, big boy in the middle, that would be a phenomenal start. I mean, an ideal start, I think, for us in the first two rounds. That defensive line completely rebuilt essentially in 2 picks.
I would be over the moon. Yeah, Lucas, tell me for this Mr. Grant, how is his pursuit?
I mean, he's General Grant for a reason, right?
That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Thank you.
Big dude. That would be phenomenal. Freaky athlete for the size. I would be ecstatic if this came true.
I'm here for it. All right. Third round.
I'm interested where you start going after this.
Sorry, Nessie.
Okay.
Someone's coming for your fucking job, my boy.
Okay.
We're going down to LSU. Give me the Tiger. Braden Swinson, edge, 6'4", 255. He's an interesting feller. He's got really good length. He is good at using his length to keep offensive linemen off of him. Keep him at bay. Downside, he's a little read. He reads and reacts as opposed to using instincts. He does have a solid punch move. He sheds well interiorly, but he does not seem to do well on the actual edge. Like he is an edge rusher, but he goes in through the what? That's the B gap, right? Between the guard and the tackle.
Yeah.
So you need to work on the edge because then you're going to be pretty predictable if you're just going to go to the middle and you're going to get exposed. But he has a lot of athletic upside. Like I said, he could easily take Nessie's job. I think that edge is, behind defensive tackle and then a receiver. I think edge is our biggest need. You could argue that it's more important than receiver, and I probably wouldn't push back too far, but I definitely want to be adding somebody to that room in the first 3 rounds, and this young man fits the bill.
Yeah, he's kind of an interesting guy. He's just ever so slightly undersized for us. our prototype. He's a little bit smaller than Gary, LVN, a little bit more Kingsley sized, I would say, and Akbari, which is not a bad thing, a little bit different flavor. Late breakout, didn't really do much early on in his career, and then his senior, retro junior, whatever it is, year, kind of broke out and led the Tigers' defensive front. So, interesting guy, late breakout, a lot of tools in that toolbox once again. I would not be mad. He's a guy that I looked at. If I couldn't get an edge in the first couple rounds, he was one of like a cluster of guys that I was interested in a little bit later because you're right, we need some. I mean, we have bodies, so I don't know if we're going to draft like 2, 3, 4 of them, right? But we need some that at least have some upside to continue developing.
Only other thing with the edge room, and I should have looked it up, but it literally just re-entered my brain while we're talking about it. Andy Herman posted a couple weeks back about Brian Cox, like the last 6 or 8 games of the season was absolutely insane. Like his pass rush, it was either win rate or maybe the pressure rate. Again, only like 6 or 8 games, so the sample size isn't huge, but he was like 3 or 4% better than TJ Watt.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if Watt was the leader in the NFL this year in that category, if it was somebody else. But regardless, he was better than that person too. So maybe a little upside, but obviously we can't just go off of that flash. So right. adding someone in the room is important.
Definitely need to add someone in the room, continue developing, especially as some of these contracts get a little bit longer. And Akbari's not going to be around forever, right? For instance, we got to start replacing these people ahead of time, be a little proactive. And hopefully we find somebody that can make a real impact because our pass rush clearly was an issue. So.
Indeed. 3rd round, what do you got?
All right. So it follows a little bit of a trend, We brought in Mykel Williams for a top 30 draft visit, who I picked in the 1st round. We brought this feller into a top 30 visit as well. Slight reach, potentially, by a couple picks, but I think they really like this kid. I really do. Wide receiver. Let's see if you can guess him. 6'2.5". Oh, shade under 200 pounds. Ran a 4.41. Any ideas, Devin?
It's not Jack Besh, is it?
No, clearly not, no.
Then it's one of the people I didn't like, so just tell me.
Torrey Horton. I don't think we even talked about him on our wide receiver episode.
We did not.
Went to Colorado State from Fresno. Just listen to some of these numbers. He didn't do all the tests because nobody did all the tests, which makes the RAS scores really difficult this year, so that's kind of why we're not really talking about him. But 4.41 40. 1.53 10-yard split, so he's got some pop off the ball. 37.5-inch vert at 6'2.5". That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Doesn't have the longest arms because I'm about to make a outlandish comp, which isn't great, but at least play style. Hopefully you can bear with me. But he's got speed. He's got legitimate speed. He's kind of a lanky guy. So some of that's build up. But started his career at Nevada, ended up at Colorado State. First team All-Mountain West in 2023, so it kind of follows that. Better second to last year versus last year because he had an injury, so he only played in 6 games. But the year before that, ranked 5th in the FBS with 96 receptions, led team with 1,136 receiving yards in 8 TUDs. Okay. Also had a punt return TD. That kind of reminds me...
he also has dreads.
He does have dreads. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Wicks situation, where when we drafted Wicks, it was kind of like, this dude did nothing this year. Well, there's a reason for that. In this case, he was injured. In Wicks' case, Virginia had issues. But when I watch him, he's nowhere near as good of a player. But just play style, movement style. Bear with me. Reminds me a little of Justin Jefferson. Okay? He's nowhere near as lanky. He doesn't have like the crazy long arms that Justin Jefferson has, or the ginormous hands. But some of the like dead leg jukes, some of how he just positions his body to catch over the shoulder type stuff, his sideline work. He's nowhere near that good, obviously, but I think there might be some similar play styles. So I looked it up. Justin Jefferson ran a 4.43, just a shade slower. Had about the same 10-yard split and about the same vertical jump. So just like There's something about it that just reminds me of that. Will he ever be Justin Jefferson? Obviously not, right? But just, if you haven't seen this guy, just kind of picture that style of play, because Justin Jefferson's kind of a unique player when you just watch him and how he moves around the field, and I think this guy has some of those similar characteristics. And he brings that speed. 4.41's legit. That's a legit speed. Obviously, that's not Christian Watson fast, but it's still faster than most of the NFL DBs, so I think he helps in that regard as well. Relatively big body. He's got to fill out a little bit because he's a little skinny, but I think he would be very fun to add to that wide receiver room.
I like the 6'2" frame. If we're going to go receiver, I either want one of the small absolute burners or someone with some size. Obviously, with me taking Higgins.
Yep.
Does he play like a big ball receiver, like 50-50? Does he do all right?
I mean, he's not. I don't think Higgins necessarily is, but he's not like the Tet McMillan or like that big. Because he's not that big. He's still kind of slender. He's not MVS skinny, but he's not necessarily going to win all the contested catches. Like I know you're kind of hoping for. You want a big body, but he's not that thick yet. He's just not that thick.
But he's got the speed upside, which, I won't even go on the MVS rant since you brought him up. I'm down for that. I'm cool for that. And I'm okay with receiver being third or fourth round. Like, that's fine with me.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, this is your third.
And we like taking wide receivers from a little bit smaller schools at times, so makes sense.
All righty. After my sneeze, we're on to the fourth round, folks.
On to the fourth round.
What were you saying earlier, Lucas, about what does Goody like to do? What does he like to draft?
What does he like to draft? Oh, boy. He likes to draft a lot of things. Offensive lineman. He likes to draft...
Just one school. Just
one
defense,
school.
one school.
Georgia.
What is it?
Georgia.
What is it?
Georgia.
We're going... Oh, God. Smale? Samale? Samule?
Oh, the linebacker.
Smale Mondin Jr., linebacker out of Georgia. We're talking linebacker, not edge rusher. He is a prototypical 4'3" linebacker. He is 6'3", 236.
Love that.
He's physical. He runs fluid. He's like a freaking gazelle out there. He's a little undersized, and he's also a little reactive. You need to trust his instincts a little bit more. But I think, like, for some reason, it kind of rings a bell. Georgia linebacker who's a physical freak, but a little reactive.
It sounds like Quay.
And it's almost like we've kind of fixed that a little bit. Quay Walker last year was much better. Much better. So I could see us taking a swing at a linebacker here, another off-ball linebacker. You got to replace Eric Wilson's body at the very least. We did sign the Juice Man, but we don't really want to see him in snaps defensively, hopefully. This can be a special teams guy. You could also, throw him in that competition of that third starting linebacker next to Walker and next to Mr. Edgerrin Cooper.
Okay.
With Hopper and McStuffy. I think it gives you options or personnel and some depth.
Yeah, and if Hopper doesn't work out, because a lot of people seem to be a little low on Hopper. If he doesn't work out, you kind of have the heir apparent right there to pick up the mantle for that third linebacker. You're right. So that's interesting. That's an interesting call. I like the size. I like that. He's an athletic linebacker. I like that. If you essentially put three edge Cooper / Quays out there, and everybody's somewhere in that mix, size and athletically, it's a dangerous linebacking core, my friend. It's a dangerous linebacking core. So I like it. Yeah, and someone that size and speed is going to be good on special teams as well. Need some depth. I like it. Nice.
Thank you. Yeah, there's something about lately in my head, just like 4-3 defense with three athletic freak linebackers.
Yeah.
Just the possibilities you can do with that is endless. And we know Mr. Halfley would do something with that, but you're up.
He would. All right. So I went a little bit out of the Packers norm here, right? A little bit out of the norm. Torrey Horton is a Packers type through and through size. All the metrics, right? This next guy's a little thin, I would say. A little light on the weight. And if you listen to our previous episode, he's my guy, right? Devin had Jaden Higgins. This is my guy that Devin did not like at all. Mr. Felton from Maryland. Wide receiver. Just give me the juice, man. I want the speed. I want the athleticism. I want that 4.37 40. I want that 39.5-inch vert at 6'1". Yes, please. Broad jump 10-10. Dude is a freak athlete. He's the kind of guy, gets the ball in his hands down the sideline. People think they got him, and they don't got him because he has that kind of build-up speed to just run away from people. I liked a lot of what he did after the catch. He's got some shake. He's got some wiggle, which is something that I talked about last episode that I really appreciate in wide receivers. Both him and Horton make the first guy miss consistently, which I enjoy. And overall, he has shown the ability to pluck the ball out of the air, which is good, especially once you start getting into this range of the draft. The hands start getting suspect. It's either the athleticism or the hands start getting real suspect at this point. Not sure if you take any more wide receivers, but if you do, they're either going to be little, slow, or have bad hands from here on out. This guy's pretty much the last one. 1,100 receiving yards this last year, 9 tuds, 96 receptions, team captain. Give me the athleticism in the wide receiver room. I want all of it.
Probably wouldn't take 2 wide receivers, but I don't hate it. I just think that we have a lot of talented guys on the roster. Like, I still want to keep Bo Melton. Even Malik Heath, bro. The Eagles are afraid of Malik Heath.
This dude's better than Bo Melton.
Down late in that game. No, but I'm saying, like, in a weird way, I don't want to lose some of those guys.
I get it.
Honest. Like, taking 2 receivers means that some of these boys are going to be gone, which is hard. I mean, also, like, Romeo Doubs could get a concussion early, and then he could just be done. Like, that is a
You're kind of making
non-zero possibility.
You're kind of making my point. Plus, the contracts are coming up on Romeo and Christian in a year or two. The rest of them, right? That's kind of the downside of. It's a beautiful thing to draft in waves like we did, but then all the contracts come due at the same time. We're not going to keep them all, so you need to kind of have these guys waiting in the wings a little bit. He and Horton, but definitely he can fill some of that Christian Watson role. You know, I understand what you're saying. Goody has also shown the propensity to shotgun a position or multiple.
Okay, but Lucas, are there any reports of the Packers renovating Lambeau Field to be a dome?
I don't care.
No. Oh, no. I wasn't done yet. Are there any reports of that?
No.
And there's wind in Green Bay, right?
Yeah.
You don't think his ass is going to be picked up and flown out of the stadium at 6'1", 183? Again,
what happened? What happened to all those?
6'1", 183, Maryland, senior.
What happened to
those?
Did
run that 4.37 40. I'm not done yet. Slender, bullied at catch point. You just have to tell me that if we draft him and somehow I'm wrong, am I buying the jersey for me to wear all the time, or do you want it instead?
I probably want it, honestly, because I'm going out on a limb for this guy. Hey, what happened to all those cheese curds and bulking the guys up that you're just talking about? Give this man some cheese curds. We'll be all right.
Lucas, I'm not with you on this one. I'm not.
That's
and
okay.
I would love to be wrong.
That's okay.
Give me an elite receiver. That'd be great. That'd be fantastic. An elite receiver in the 4th round. Cool. Sign me up. And with the rest of your draft, I'd still be cool. I'd still be okay because of the 2 boys you took early.
Well, hey.
And Mr. Colorado State 6'2" receiver, I mess with that for sure.
One of them, the goal is for one of them to hit, not necessarily both of them, right? That's Goody's approach to wide receivers.
It's like shooting a shotgun, you know?
Yep.
Just send some lead down there and see what happens.
Sometimes you get MVS, and you're like, oh, pleasantly surprised for the draft pick. Sometimes you get Jamon Moore, and you're very sad.
Jamon Moore.
Yeah.
Indeed you are. I tell you what, though, Lucas.
Also,
if this next name...
Hold on. Not done yet. Also brought him in for a top 30 visit, which we haven't talked about a ton, but we draft our top 30 visits.
Great.
Okay, moving on.
So 199.
199?
You like speed?
159.
Oh, I guess I can't read numbers on my mock draft. 159?
Yeah.
Okay, I trust you. Whatever. The next round pick, 4th round pick. You like speed, Lucas?
I do. I'm really excited where you're going with this.
You like men who can run?
I do. Yeah.
You know, maybe like a road runner might be a good idea. Maybe like a road runner named Za Frazier, who is 6'3". What have I been saying for weeks, for months, for years, for my whole life? I came out of the womb and I said, give me 6'2" or over cornerbacks, please. It's true. He had 6 picks in 2024. Fun fact for you, you'll like this. You know where he started his college ball?
I do not.
SIU.
Oh, interesting.
Southern Illinois
fact.
University.
Where's he from?
Yes, sir. Oh, I don't care. I don't remember.
I'm looking it up.
Sorry. Didn't give you the full Wikipedia. My bad. Give me a big corner with speed. He sounds absolutely wonderful. Only problem is, turns 25 in October. I mean, we've seen Goody pull the trigger on older prospects. You know, Wyatt was, 23, 24 when we picked him?
Yeah,
That's, 25 is up there, but holy jeepers. If he doesn't remind me of Tariq Woolen, who I absolutely adore.
You do.
I do. So sign me up for the big corner. Bring him home.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, freak athlete, big dude. I took him in a fair amount of my earlier mocks as well. So I'm with you there. You're betting on athleticism and your coaches to do their job. And in a year or two, you got something to work with, right? Which is a pretty good idea given what our cornerback room looks like currently. Like, we have starters. That's not the issue. We need bodies and potential studs behind that. So interesting. And I love a small school guy. I think he's kind of like really poor man's Siobhan Revell, maybe, right? Similar size, speed.
Bro, don't even mention his name, please.
So I think that's interesting. I like that.
Thanks, but you just compromised me for the rest of the show. So good luck riding solo.
That's okay, because Chicago's own.
Ooh.
I found one. Chicago's own played his collegiate football in the fine state of Indiana. Well, maybe not fine state, but 6'1", 316 pounds, senior CJ West, defensive tackle. So I said earlier, very deep defensive tackle draft. You got a little bit of everything, right? You can kind of pick your poison, pick what kind of toys you want to play with here. All right, the big boy first. This guy, still kind of a big boy, right? Still kind of a big boy. We have a lot of pure three techniques in Wyatt, Brooks, Wooden. Our practice squad is going to be full of them. Like James Esther from NIU. We got a bunch of them that are 300 pounds shade under. Give me some more meat. No one's running on us. This guy, 6'1", 316, like I said, can play some three technique, can play nose in a pinch as well. He's got that size. He's a little short and lacks a little bit of length, but they played him all over the defensive line at Indiana. Year to year even, he played a little bit more traditional like defensive tackle, nose tackle. It lined up in the A-gap and over the center this past year. The year before that, a little bit more B-gap, a little more three technique. So he's got both in his arsenal. And I think he's a big, strong dude, 4'9", 40, which doesn't sound that impressive, but vertical jump 33 inches for a man that weighs 316 pounds. Pretty good, right?
Yeah, I'll take that.
We love, in our offensive defensive linemen, we love good jumps. Okay? We love good jumps. And not only that, not only is he from Chicago, Illinois, he went to a MAC school in Kent State before he went to Indiana. So, honorable mention all Big Ten Conference. 42 tackles, 7.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, pass breakup, and a forced fumble. You're not going to get crazy production out of him necessarily, but he's going to be a nice big body to plug up the holes.
Yeah, that feels like a good addition to the defensive line room, a nice option to have.
Yeah.
Love a good run stuffing defensive tackle. I think that, honestly, even if you hadn't taken General Grant in the second round, like this is still, like I would still be okay with this being our answer at defensive tackle based on what you've said.
Me too. And kind of like Grant's probably not going to be there, but TJ Sanders might be, who's more of a traditional three tech, a little bit more of a Devontae Wyatt clone. Size-wise, like there's a lot of three techs as well. So anytime you can get somebody that's big enough that could potentially play lined up in the A-gap, like I'm going to take them at this point just because they're pretty rare, all things considered.
Indeed. I had a thought there. Oh, I just wanted to say I might be biased, and I don't care, being a Big Ten purist myself, that like you're playing some of the best offensive lines in the nation week in and week out. Mm-hmm. Iowa, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Northwestern, like most of the elite offensive line prospects come from the Big Ten. So that really says something when he has that much,
A lot of them, yeah.
When he's putting on that good of tape against the competition. So, my next pick.
Yeah.
Is this 198 now?
Yes, this is 198.
Okay. I'm back on track. Just because we always do it, and it's Gutekunst, trying to make this draft realistic, I took an offensive tackle. Okay. Colin Pierce.
Okay.
Offensive tackle to Rutgers.
Big boy. He's a big boy.
Oh, Lucas, he is a big boy.
6'8",
We're talking
right?
340. What?
He's like 6'8", right?
Yeah, he's 6'8", 341. In 2023, he was honorable mention All Big Ten. In 2024, he was second team All Big Ten. He did start all 13 games in both seasons. Just with his size, obviously a lot of power, but is prone to then overextending, being a little heavy-legged, which is understandable when your legs are tree trunks because you're 6'8" and 341. Lord forgive him. It's an offensive tackle, like you said. We'll see about Rasheed Walker. We'll see about Sean Ryan. It's the Packers. We're not only going to take an offensive lineman, but it has to be a tackle because the other two positions don't exist.
We do especially like taking tackles that can play other things. So you're not wrong there. I think he might be a little big for us. We don't generally take the mammoths, but yeah, maybe we're changing our stripes here out a little bit. I don't know, but interesting pick. You're right. We got to take an offensive lineman somewhere because it's what we do. We take the offensive linemen in the middle to late rounds. They become average to good, and we just keep doing it over and over again.
Yes, sir.
Interestingly enough, so far, we have not had a single same pick. This is probably a first for us so far.
No. We've had
a couple.
We've only had one. I mean, we had Lucas Van Ness,
obviously,
but I think that was it. Like, we've done like similar rounds, positions like the tight end double up we talked about, right? I think we even might have taken the tight ends in the same round, but I don't think we've ever, besides Nessie.
You wanted Darnell Washington. I remember that.
He's turned out to be better than we thought. I mean, obviously Tucker Kraft is better, but like Darnell's decent. If Tucker Kraft didn't exist, I'd be happy with what Darnell Washington is now.
I probably wouldn't, but that's okay. So, at this point in the draft, right, you're taking flyers on people.
Wait, time out. I have to go back to that. Just pause. Let's say we took Darnell Washington as opposed to Tucker Kraft.
Yeah.
With how Darnell played last year, compared to what else we have, he's easily tight end 2, behind Musgrave. Or honestly, with Musgrave being dead half the time, he'd probably be tight end 1, which you don't feel great about. But
he doesn't do anything. He blocks. He's Mercedes Lewis still. He's just not an interesting pass catcher at this point. Anyways, moving on.
Sad.
I'm taking an athlete here. I'm taking an athlete. I don't necessarily know 100% what we do with him. He's got some positional flexibility. 5'11", 202. Okay. Safety / corner / nickel out of Nevada. I think the best part about this is we could start a new law firm, Devin. We could start a new law firm. And that would be Catan and Associates. Catan Crawford.
Oh my God.
We need 2 Catan safeties. Absolutely.
How big is he? He's 5'11"?
He's 5'11". So actually that works out a little bit. They're kind of opposites.
Completely. And he's fast?
He's fast. 4.41 40-yard dash, 41.5-inch vertical. And he still put up 18 reps at the bench press. Like, dude is an athlete. Absolutely.
So my question for you is, if we draft him, are we just going to put 5 safeties on the field or 4 nickel corners?
I think 4 nickel corners. Yeah. I think
cool.
Realistically he probably would back up Bullard, assuming he's our nickel. But I mean, at this point, you're looking at special teams versatility. Get Bisaccia, just a crazy athlete to run around out there. And not only that, okay? Let's read. He started his career at Texas before going to Nevada. So what did he do there a lot when he wasn't getting played time at Texas? He played special teams. Okay, let me read some of this. Okay, 2022, his third year. 1 start, 25 tackles, 2 pass breakups, and a blocked kick. Okay. 2023, Texas. Played 13 games, 3 starts, 24 tackles, tackle for loss, interception, pass breakup, blocked kick. Huh. I see a trend.
Look at that.
I see a trend. He has...
All right, I'm sold.
Give me the blocked kicks. Absolutely give me the blocked kicks. Freak athlete. Put him out there somewhere. He's just going to run around with his head cut off. He's not a great tackler, but a very willing tackler. He's going to try to hit you, which I'm all for at that point. Realistically, is he going to do a ton for you on the defensive end? Probably not. But is he going to be a Rudy Ford level gunner? Potentially.
Remind me his name one more time.
Keaton Crawford. I mean,
I got to see a picture to see if I like the vibe.
He also has dreads.
Oh, that's what I was looking for. Like, you got dreads, you got a face mask. Well, not a face mask. You got a visor. Like, these are the things that to me are aesthetically pleasing.
Crazy speed. Put that man on special teams as a gunner. Let him fly.
My next pick does not have speed.
Okay.
237. Another great name. Isaias Waxter. Cornerback.
Okay.
Villanova. Lucas, has there been another cornerback from Villanova who's not very fast, who is one of the low-key top NFL corners, rated by PFF in the top 5 for zone coverage over the past 2 seasons?
I assume yes, given that you're mentioning stats.
Yes. Yeah, he doesn't play for my favorite team. He plays for my second favorite, a la Christian Benford. Circle the wagons, Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
So Mr. Waxter is 6'2". He does run a 4.56 40. So not great, but you can make up for a little bit of your speed with your wingspan. So he has that going for him. Yep. He's big, strong. Definitely needs to work on his footwork. If he could get a little faster, that'd be cool. Probably no cheese curds for you. That won't help in that department. But I'm cool adding another big body to the secondary room. Maybe play some special teams. Come on down, sir.
Interesting. You're really attacking that tall cornerback vibe, aren't you? Interesting.
Bro, remember in that Madden franchise where you had all your Illinois people?
Yeah.
I had my Texans team, and every time I made a trade, you were like, that's a choice. And I traded for Reek Willen, who's 6'4", and he was the only reason I didn't lose every game.
True.
That's a choice. Believe in the big man, brother. Okay. Believe in the big man.
Fair enough. Okay, so you talked about offensive linemen, right? So I picked another player that was on a top 30 visit from Prague, Oklahoma. Had a tease for our international listeners out there.
You're such a little jerk. I can't believe you did that. I totally fell for it. This is one of the rare moments I'm truly sad we don't have like a visual feed for our show. Because I bit, bro.
You did.
If that was a button hook, if that was a go stop go, I'm on SportsCenter for life.
You absolutely are. That was phenomenal. Dalton Cooper out of Oklahoma State, 6'5", 323. Played a ton of football. Started for Oklahoma State for 5 years. It's a lot of football. Not crazy athleticism here. Not the highest ceiling here, but ton of experience. Could come in, I think, in a pinch. Has good size, 6'5", 320. 323. That's that kind of upper edge for us recently on what we like size-wise. There's some talks about if tackle doesn't necessarily work, he could bump into guard, which is something we love. The only thing that would be better is if he played center randomly at some point in his college career. But I think just, back end of the draft, here's another offensive lineman just to bring into the mix. And you're right, we only draft tackles.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about him. I'm a little old to trade about his identity, but yeah, he's an offensive tackle. We always draft one. Sure, go for it.
In the seventh round,
analysis.
In the 7th round, this is where we're at.
Yeah. Well, we got one more pick.
And I'm excited for whatever you're going to do.
No, it was just Easter. So I'm kind of talking about JC. I'm talking about JCM. I'm talking about Ja'Cory Karosky Merritt. Yeah, that's a name.
Okay.
He's a running back from Arizona,
okay,
which he transferred to before he was a New Mexico Lobo. So he's an interesting case. He's 5'11". He's 207. He is explosive. In 2023, he appeared to be the bell cow for the Lobos.
Okay, good.
1,190 yards rushing.
Good.
17 rushing touchdowns.
That's a lot.
6.3 yards per carry.
I like that. And size-wise, that's
some good
numbers.
Not
crazy different than like an Aaron Jones, right? So definitely in our ballpark.
He's very competitive. He's got good vision, good patience. Little Le'Veon Bell in him. He is 24 years old, and I was unable to ascertain to why when he transferred to Arizona in 2024, he only played in one game.
Interesting.
Now, obviously, he is a very, bottom of the draft or UDFA player, right? 7th rounder. So I could not quite figure out why that was. But the one game that he played was against his former team, and he ran for over 100 yards and like 8.9 yards per carry. And it was like 12 carries, so it wasn't like, some bullshit where you
one run.
break off an 80-yarder and then run for. Yeah, no. He's got some pop to him. We're looking at this running back room. Obviously, Josh Jacobs. Somebody asked me a couple days ago, who's your favorite Packer? And I said Josh Jacobs because of the way that man battles.
Yeah.
Like the heart that we saw against Philadelphia, like. Sign me up for that. Sign me up for a leader and that voice on this team. Marshawn Lloyd is an enigma. He's going to be it feels like he's potentially an even more sad story than Jonathan Franklin. Like, could we just not get a fun little scat back? Are we just not allowed to have those? What did we ever do to the football gods? Like, the best one we have is Brandon Jackson. What did we do to deserve that? I don't know. Not Patrick Taylor. Woo. Emmanuel Wilson has pop, like Emmanuel Wilson. I'm happy him being RB2. And then Chris Brooks is a fine RB3. He's a fine RB3. But is this a little bit of a shot? Gets him all a little pop? Maybe we help him out, get him a little bit better in pass protection, because that seems to be a weakness. Could he think about taking Chris Brooks' spot if Marshawn Lloyd does not come back with the pop that we hope he has? Why not?
Interesting. Okay. Adding more competition to the running back room is never a bad thing. Never. In running back 3, 4, kind of up in the air a little bit. I could see him maybe making the practice squad, getting called up if there's an injury, doing a little thing here, a little thing there. I like it. Smart use of the pick.
Just call him Marshawn Lloyd Insurance for when he gets hurt again. And wasn't there another report in the offseason that
something?
I know LaFleur said he looked great, but I think I heard something else, that something else was wrong with him.
I'm not ready to write him off yet, but fair enough. Okay, so close your eyes, listeners.
I thought you meant me.
Well, and you can do it as well. Picture Micah Parsons. Okay, now picture Micah Parsons if you forgot how to play football. That is Colin Oliver, linebacker out of Oklahoma State. 6'2", 240. Played some edge rusher. Played some off-ball linebacker. Really interesting career at Oklahoma State. 4.56 40-yard dash, 39-inch vert at 6'2", 240. Yes, please. Another athlete. Potential special team stud. In 2021, his freshman year, he was second-team All-Big 12 Conference, freshman All-American, tied for 7th in the FBS with 11.5 sacks.
Ooh.
His next 3 years, he combined for 12 sacks. Now, he got hurt his last year. He got hurt his last year. But they started moving around a little bit. They changed the defense. So he's standing up. He was hand in the dirt. He played some off ball, did a little bit of everything. He's too small to play edge for us, clearly. But developmental off-ball linebacker project with special teams upside, because he's a freak athlete. I mean, we're talking like Edge Cooper, Micah Parsons, freak athlete. In the 7th round, I'm taking a flyer. Okay? We'll teach him how to play football, because apparently he forgot after his freshman year. Don't know what happened, but
that would be so Packery. That would be so Packery.
Between very similar measurables to Micah Parsons, like that kind of vibe where he could, in theory, maybe do both. Micah Parsons started as a prospect, as an off-ball linebacker, as a middle linebacker, and then kind of due to injuries had to play edge, and then they're like, oh my God, this dude's amazing, right? That's what happened in Dallas. So kind of a similar thing, same with Abdul Carter a little bit, but yeah, similar thing, just not nearly as good. But in the 7th round, worth a flyer.
Just between the inconsistent production and the fact that, like, usually we're talking about how guys' junior years are better and we're like tripling that, whereas freshman year was better and we're drafting them off that. That feels so Packer-esque, a raw edge rusher that needs a lot of help. Mm-hmm. Come on home, baby. There's one place for you to go.
So as long as his medicals check out, I think he could be a really interesting prospect and just see what you can do with him, Clearly, the Packers thought that they had some coaching issues, which is why they fired their defensive lineman coach. Hopefully they feel a little bit more confident now. Let's teach the boy up. Let's see what he can do with a little bit better coaching potentially. And hey, if he flames out, it's one of the last picks in the draft. Whatever.
I like it. I like it a lot. Alrighty, folks. Well, thank you for joining us for Draftapalooza 4.0. It's an honor to be here. I mean, Luke's a lot more into the analytics than I am, but I distinctly remember his excitement when he's like, "Oh my God, Devin, like, look at how many listeners we had for the show." Like, it was, at least our first season, it was by far our most successful. And it's, like you said, one of our favorites to do.
People love the mock drafts
every year.
Yep. And we're not terrible at them, which makes it even more fun.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think we do a great job. And I'm sure I'm not biased when I say that in the slightest. But as we give you these final words, I really hope you enjoy the next 3 days. And, of course, we'll be back next week to walk us through it, to get through it together, to talk about all these new shiny toys that we have. And if I still have faith in the Green Bay Packers when they take that offensive tackle in the first round and my house burns down.
It's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a fun time. It's always unpredictable, especially with the Packers. We're going to see what they come up with this year. I'm really curious if we got any right. I'm really curious. We'll see.
You know what we should also do now, because we haven't done it in a hot minute? We should plug the email, because it's the draft, right? Some of our listeners might have some questions about who we took over why, or this person was still available, or et cetera. So, Lucas, would you remind the fine folks at home how they can reach us in just a few seconds?
southofthecheddarcurtain@gmail.com. We're also on YouTube now. You don't get to see our faces, but if you prefer to listen to your podcast on YouTube, we're there as well. We're everywhere, man.
We are everywhere. Alrighty, folks. It's been a blast as always. I hope everyone has a good night. Enjoy the draft, and we will see you next week. Until next time.
Go Pack Go.
Go Pack Go.